This is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Wendell Anschutz, and Peterson is on maternity leave. Coming up on Kansas City's news at 6, Kansas City, Kansas police use pry bars and power saws to search for the body of a woman who has been missing for more than a year. A teddy bear stuffed with crack is left behind in the city's latest homicide, and blood alcohol tests are ordered for the pilot of a 1945 airplane that crashed overnight in Lenexa. Those stories coming up on Kansas City's local news at 6.
Congratulations, Miss Brown. You bought a new car. Let me introduce you to our shine and undercoating package, only $500 extra.
No, I only trust Ming for my car.
No other finishing process is better.
As Missouri's Attorney General, Bill Webster has one of the best crime-fighting records of anyone who's had the job. 60 criminal cases, 59 convictions, 19 first-degree murder cases, 18 got the death penalty or life without parole, including Jeffrey Sloan, who murdered his 9-year-old brother, Donald Reese, who was found guilty of 2 murders.
When violent crimes are committed against the people of Missouri, it's my job to see the people get justice.
Missouri's Attorney General, Bill Webster.
Catch us if you can. 8 dazzling days of the most exciting dance ever. The Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater at the Folly and Lyric. Catch us.
You're watching KCTV 5, Kansas City's #1 station for news, where we always take you one step further. This is KCTV 5, Kansas City's news, with Wendell Anschutz, Ann Peterson, Mike Thompson, and Jack Harry.
Hello again. Kansas City, Kansas police today began a search they hope will solve a grisly murder that came to light a little more than a year ago. That was when someone left a skull, possibly the remains of 24-year-old Lori Newton, on the front porch of her father's house. Today, detectives converged on another house in Kansas City, Kansas, in hopes of finding the body. Steve Dawson has the story.
Police got a tip last week that the body of Lori Newton might be buried under the recently laid floor in this now vacant house, rented until 6 months ago by a relative of the missing woman. Partially full bags of nails, possibly used to put down the plywood, were still on the kitchen counter. Someone used a lot of nails.
I'm just hoping that she is, so we can get this over with. It's been nothing but nightmares for the past year.
Lori's mother also says the worst part of the nightmare is that she and police know the murderer.
And he walks the street, he lives, he enjoys life while my daughter's either laying there or somewhere else.
It's not the everyday typical homicide.
Did the suspect know his victim?
Oh, definitely.
Were they related?
Yes, they were related.
Do you know where the suspect is now?
We can find him when we want him, yes.
A suspected murderer has even bragged that he knocked out all of Lori Newton's teeth so police wouldn't know for sure if it was her head.
And his reason was sick. There's no reason for death. It's not right to take somebody's life.
Police suspended the search just after noon. They'll be back tomorrow with a cop small enough to crawl under the house, searching for the grim evidence that may finally put the murderer behind bars and finally end the nightmare for Linda King. I'm Steve Dawson, KCTV 5 News.
Kansas City police found the body of 38-year-old Alberta Ware overnight. She had been shot twice in the upper body. Elsewhere in the house, police found a teddy bear stuffed with crack. The overnight homicide has prompted the use of the police department's newly formed murder squad. Police formed the unit because of the influx of crack and crack-related crimes.
Most major cities do have murder squads, and that's all they work. They don't work assaults, they don't work suicides, they don't work harassments. They are strictly a homicide unit, and that's what it means.
Police hope that with more flexible hours and more freedom, they'll have more time to solve the murders. No suspects in this latest case. Kansas City police made more than a half-dozen arrests overnight as part of their latest undercover drug operation. Operation Pounce is designed to crack down on drug dealing in the city's Midtown area, which is bounded roughly by 39th and 87th Streets. Some of last night's arrests stemmed from outstanding warrants. Not all were drug-related. Police are, however, working from a list of what's believed to be the top 20 crack houses in the city's Midtown area. There are 313 known crack houses in that area, some 1,000 in the entire city. A 3-year-old Kansas City boy shot while playing with his uncle has died of head injuries at Children's Mercy Hospital. A spokesperson there says Marshall Pearson died shortly after 5 o'clock tonight. You might recall he received a gunshot wound to the head when his uncle picked up a gun and the weapon discharged. Police say at this point, no charges are being filed. A 14-year-old Platte County girl today took the stand in the kidnapping, assault, and armed criminal action trial of a Bean Lake resident. 35-year-old Randy Belcher is on trial in Greene County Circuit Court on a change of venue. Today, the victim of the crime, who is now 15, told the jury that Belcher appeared to be smoking crack when he came to her house 1 year ago. She said Belcher told her they were going to go party. The girl says she was later raped and thrown into the Missouri River east of Missouri City. The National Transportation Safety Board says it has ordered blood alcohol tests on the pilot of a vintage World War II plane that crashed overnight. Daniel Menges of Bonner Springs filed no flight papers with the Federal Aviation Administration before taking off on what is believed to have been a local flight. The investigator for the National Transportation Safety Board says an open container of beer was found in the plane. The plane plunged nose down in a median near I-35 and 113th Street in Lenexa. Braniff officials say a bomb threat aimed at a flight that landed at KCI this afternoon was a hoax. The executive assistant to the president of Braniff says the threat came into the reservations desk in Fort Lauderdale. The threat involved Braniff Flight 665, which originated in Fort Lauderdale and made its way to Kansas City via Chicago. Braniff received the threat when the plane was 20 minutes away from landing at KCI. Upon landing, the 41 passengers and 5 crew members evacuated the craft. A standard security search turned up nothing. Well, a group of minority organizations today accused the Kansas City School District of backing off from its commitment to include minority businesses in district capital improvements. The group held its news conference outside Central High School because they feel that's the site of the worst economic tragedy for black businesses. It was there that a minority contractor eventually lost out on the change to provide the district with computers for its magnet school program in Central. But the coalition says the problem goes beyond that.
What we see as the school district at this point is retreating from its commitment to minority participation. The school district's minority participation policy has been withdrawn from. No longer is the school district committed to having black contractors and black vendors participate in the overall capital improvement program.
Kansas City School Superintendent George Garcia says the district's construction programs are moving ahead with minority participation. In fact, Garcia says goals have been met and surpassed. He re-emphasized that it is the district's policy to work with minorities. Well, on November 8th, Missourians will decide whether they want to pay an earnings tax to help provide medical insurance for those who otherwise couldn't afford it. On the ballot, it's called Amendment 8. But you're more likely to hear the words medicist over the next 2 weeks. TV5's Leanna Joyce looks at that proposal.
About 1 million Missourians either do not have health insurance or have inadequate health insurance. That according to a study done in 1985. But if Missouri voters approve Constitutional Amendment number 8, that should change. The MIDAS program would make health insurance available to low-income residents at premiums far below the going rate. It would also beef up Medicaid payments to doctors and hospitals, make health insurance available to high-risk patients, and protect against catastrophic illness. To pay for all this, Missouri workers would be taxed 0.6% of their earnings. Businesses that don't provide their employees with health insurance would pay a similar tax on their profits. Kansas City Attorney Ned Holland helped write the amendment. As a member of the Board of Trustees of Truman Medical Center, he sees firsthand the result of people not having medical coverage.
Many of them simply never receive medical care of any sort, whether adequate or not. Others wait, defer their care, get very sick, and show up at Truman Medical Center, where I've been involved for years, and they are sicker than they otherwise would have been, frequently can't be cured at that stage. But
Holland says when they finally do show up here at Truman Medical Center, it's often more costly to treat them in the advanced stage of their illness. Since they can't afford to pay, the bill is passed on to the public in one way or another, either through funding for Truman or through the medical bills of paying patients and their insurance companies. Opponents of MIDAS say the amount of money it would raise, $265 million in its first year, is not enough to take care of the problem. And they claim it hits Missouri's workers and small businesses hardest. State Senator Robert Johnson wants voters to realize just how much it would cost them.
There is a tax imposed, and the tax is an earnings tax. And earnings taxes are not an income tax. Nothing is deducted. So this tax, if it passes, these 0.6%, will be applied to whatever an individual earns, their total wages, their total salaries. There won't be any deductions for anything. So
Medicist opponents contend that it would end up benefiting hospitals and pharmaceutical companies more than individuals. Holland denies that charge, although he admits it would help out Truman Medical Center, which is the largest Medicaid user in the state. Leanna Joyce, KCTV 5 News.
When we come back, Call for Action Stan Kramer has some tips on refinancing your home mortgage.
At Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right. Chicken right.
I just felt like I couldn't do anything with my life. I felt like I couldn't go anywhere or have a productive life. I didn't know. When I came into the Diabetes Treatment Center, I was at a pretty low point. The Diabetes Treatment Center was able to show me how to take care of myself. Hey, I'm a whole person. I have a whole life ahead of me. I do have something to work for.
We're Diabetes Treatment Centers of America. Call us at Trinity Lutheran Hospital now.
The best recipe for local news is on Kansas City's Local News at 5 with Wendell, Lily, Mike, Don, and me. Oh, it's so good.
There's a Ford in your future. Think about the road ahead. Think Ford first.
Ford is first in quality, first in sales, and first in owner loyalty. Drive home a winner during your Ford dealer Success Sales Drive. Looking for quality? Think Ford first.
Have you driven a Ford? Think Ford first.
See your local Ford dealer today. Quality people, quality products.
There's a new airline coming to Kansas City on November 1st. One that'll make hard-to-reach places in the east and west a lot easier to get to, with the only non-stops to Charlotte and Baltimore, and the only midday non-stop to San Francisco. An airline with a generous frequent flyer program and a first class that's second to none. Introducing Piedmont Airlines, with connections to more than 75 cities from coast to coast. Kansas City, here we go.
Refinancing your home mortgage has become popular as interest rates have fluctuated. If you're thinking of refinancing your mortgage, TV5 Stan Kramer has some helpful information.
Most lenders look at refinancing just like any new mortgage. That means they'll sometimes charge you for items like an appraisal, survey, origination fee, and maybe even a penalty for paying off your current mortgage early. In most cases, it takes about 2 to 3 years to recoup the refinancing costs, and unless the current interest rate is 2 points below your existing mortgage, it's probably not worth it. A few years ago, many Kansas Cityans were disappointed when lenders promised a low interest rate, but then raised it by the time they processed the papers. Be sure the lender promises the interest rate in writing, and see if it'll be guaranteed. You may have to pay extra for that guarantee. Finally, be sure to shop around and compare the savings. For KCTV 5, I'm Stan Kramer, and if you have a problem, you can call for action.
Well, just ahead, we'll see some warmer temperatures, but it might be cooler by the weekend. Mike Thompson's forecast is next.
Introducing the Audi 100-200 series. It's not just a better car to own, it's a better way to own a car, thanks to the protection of the Audi Advantage. Protection so complete, there aren't many ways left to pour money into your car.
Foresight Computers means Foresight Solutions.
Foresight Computers, Missouri's leading authorized IBM dealer, is now in Kansas City. Foresight features the IBM Personal System 2, with its total system design, advanced graphics, and IBM quality and reliability. Foresight has solutions for IBM training, service, support, for all of your computer needs today and tomorrow. Foresight Computers means Foresight Solutions. Call us. It works.
How you can help solve a murder that hasn't even happened. Plus, you are what you wear. And the news and weather on Wednesday's noon edition.
What World is a whole lot more than a fabric store.
Now save 25 to 40% on holiday fashion fabrics, Rose Bar Satin, crisp plaid, and elegant moire taffetas. Save 40% on posh Panay velvet.
What World is a whole lot more than a fabric store.
If your car pulls to one side, if your steering wheel is off-center, your car could be out of alignment. At MIDAS, trained professionals with the latest technology align your car right. MIDAS realigns foreign cars and light trucks too, the right way. Before your tires show uneven wear, have your alignment checked, or you could be shortening tire life and taking risks. You see, we're serious about safety. Hey, nobody beats MIDAS. Nobody.
Oh, the first real sign of winter is almost upon us, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. By this weekend, we'll have our first real freeze, I think.
Ew.
Temperatures up till now have gotten as close as about 33, 34 degrees, but I think we're going to take the big plunge over Friday night, Saturday night once again. But before that happens, we're going to have some nice warm air moving in. Tomorrow up into the middle 60s and then into the 70s on Thursday. We have a few thunderstorms also on tap for Thursday afternoon, so we're going to have some springtime and then wintertime. Tomorrow, though, looks good, mostly sunny. Overnight cloudiness will hold the low to 35, with the afternoon high tomorrow up to 64. Should be a pleasant day with very light winds. Our highs today up to 60. 61 at Johnson County Industrial was a hot spot, and the morning lows dipped to as cool as 46 up north at KCI. The record high on the state, 88 in 1939. The record low, 29 back in 1980. Normal high is 66. Normal overnight low is 45 degrees. And look at tower cam, we can see just a few breaks to the west, otherwise overcast skies. 55 at KCI, 56 downtown. Humidity at 41%, the winds out of the northwest at 13. Barometers dropping and no precipitation today in spite of several batches of clouds drifting overhead from time to time. Sunrise tomorrow at 7:40, sunset tomorrow evening 6:24. Quite chilly up over the Great Lakes this afternoon. It's around 36, 38. Chicago, they've had kind of a cloudy day up through there. 40s up to the north near a high-pressure system that'll be drifting southeast across the area tonight, and that'll take the winds down to nearly calm overnight. Down to the south, they've had a lot of sunshine. Look at this, Oklahoma City 75, Dallas 84 degrees this afternoon, and this warm front will be moving rapidly across the area, bringing us back into mild air tomorrow. Now, this morning we had a thin band of clouds across the Central Plains. It was clear north and clear south of that band, but it stayed right on top of Kansas City most of the day. And we also have the clouds extending all the way back to the west, which are moving in our direction tonight. But they'll continue on to the southeast, and I think late tonight it'll clear out and cool us off to the mid-30s. And the next system to affect us on Thursday will be that one up in the Pacific Northwest. That may bring us a chance of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, but not before warming us up into the 70s. In fact, the forecast map for tomorrow shows it moving out into the Rockies with some scattered showers. We'll have sunshine, and it continues cold, damp, and dreary across the Great Lakes with scattered areas of light snow. Highs tomorrow should make it up into the mid-60s for us. The coldest air staying over the Great Lakes, and the south and west really warming up nicely. Some 70s out through western Kansas. Tonight, though, partly cloudy skies later on this evening. North winds 5 to 10, low of 35. Tomorrow should be a mostly sunny day. The winds will be light and gradually shifting around to the south. That'll help us to warm up to 64. Clear and 46 tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny, windy and warmer. High 72, but late in the day, there may be some thunderstorms. That cold front sweeps on in. And behind that, chillier air, a high of 59 on Friday. And Saturday and Sunday, daytime highs of only around 50 degrees and the overnight lows below freezing. And basically fair skies, but it just won't warm up much. Well, you teachers who sent in for your weather school kits, the kits should be arriving very shortly if they haven't already, and our official class begins Monday, November 7th. That's when we'll ask the weather school questions that correspond with the lesson plans in your kits. And our weather school question for today, a monsoon is defined as A, a rainy season, well, sometimes, B, dry season, or C, reversal of wind. The correct answer is a reversal of wind.
Reversal of wind.
Yeah, which is normally, like in India, they have the monsoons. Normally all year long, the winds come offshore, off the land, onto the ocean. Well, when the winds shift around during the monsoons, it comes onshore, brings the moist air up, and causes all the rain.
What if there's a reversal of wind and it isn't over an ocean?
Well, then it's still a monsoon. You're confusing me. Well, no, come on.
I want to talk about this later.
Stick to the question, will you?
Baseball in the
Clubhouse
news
lawyer gets a big award and a big honor for the Oakland A's. We'll tell you all about it.
1986, Governor Ashcroft created the Job Development Fund, which provides money for job training.
Whenever we do job training, we invest in the people of this state. And when we can do a job well, we're going to have jobs to do.
At this plant, the state has invested nearly $200,000. 3 years ago, there were 78 jobs here. Today, there are over 250. To some, that may not seem like much, but to these workers and their families, it means everything. Genuine leadership, Governor John Ashcroft.
I'm proud to have joined the new Broadway Ford team. Even though we've been here for over 50 years, we have a new commitment. A commitment to bigger inventories and lower prices. Our goal at the new Broadway Ford is to price every car and truck from $300 to $800 less than the competition for the same exact model. And right now, our lowest prices of the year as we close out every remaining 88 model car and truck. No matter where you live in Kansas or Missouri, shop Broadway Ford, where service comes first. 34th and Broadway.
Are you over the age of 18 and have a few hours to devote to children? Why not become a phone friend volunteer? Call 753-5280. It's all for kids.
Mark and Queen Furniture Warehouse going out of business forever. Unbelievable deals. If you don't believe it, watch this. Check it out.
This matching sofa, love seat, and chair, just $448. Four-piece master bedroom, only $388. Big overstuffed recliner chair, $136. And can you believe this? Twin or full bed sets, $98 both pieces.
What'd I say? Great prices, great deals, all 3 locations. Write them down. You won't believe it when you get to Mark and Queen. Quitting business forever.
Ellen Frabel before Nutrisystem. Ellen Frabel after Nutrisystem.
I lost 122 pounds. The main thing losing weight has done for me is to give me back my self-confidence and my self-image. And also, just simple things. After Nutrisystem, I can cross my legs. I can go into a normal-sized human clothing store and buy clothes off the rack. It's a wonderful feeling. Nutrisystem has given me that.
Call this week. Lose 50 pounds or more. Save 50%. 7 Nutrisystem locations. 649-4646.
Well, they had a runaway winner today for the American League Manager of the Year award. Tony La Russa, who took the Oakland A's to the World Series, won the award hands down. They won 104 games. Meanwhile, Joe Morgan, who did a nice job with the Boston Red Sox, came in second in the balloting. All right, now Chiefs head coach Frank Gans said he talked with some of his players individually today, and their attitudes, and we quote Gans as saying, were excellent. Only 2 days ago, players were ripping one another for not putting out. Gans was asked about the dissension in the locker room today after those nasty comments from some of his players.
Let's be very honest about what happens after a ball game. Here are guys that are fierce competitors, warriors. They've given everything they have, and all of a sudden there's a microphone thrust on it.
And we better address them in a hurry, because otherwise things are going to get real ugly around here.
Ain't too much you can say, man. I mean, you have to look these guys dead in the eye and say, congratulations, you're now the worst team in the NFL.
If you give them some time to think about it, maybe they would reconsider those remarks, as anyone would. I can understand where you should hear some of the language that goes on the practice field out there. Guys hate each other. They call each other worse than whatever it was you said, a lot worse. But then they go out afterwards and have a couple of beers, and it's a different thing.
All righty, now with the loss of Mike Bell and Bill Moss, this will be the Chiefs' patched-up defensive line against the Raiders. Right here, okay, a rookie. This guy's a 9th-round draft choice. This guy's a free agent. If they couldn't stop the Lions, what in the world, how in the world are they going to stop Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen this weekend? Anyhow, we'll find out. New college football poll is out. No change at the top, but there probably should be. UCLA, number 1. Notre Dame should be up there because of the strength of the schedule. Nebraska, number 5. And the bottom 5 goes like this. Florida State, you got Oklahoma, number 8. Oklahoma State, number 12. So 3 teams in the Big 8 in the top 12. A couple of weeks ago, folks, we gave you the story of Susan Bragan. Now, that's a young tennis player out at Shawnee Mission North. Yesterday, in Wichita, the 15-year-old sophomore won the state 6A singles title. Susan defeated Kara Brady of Lawrence in a rematch of last year's final. Tennis certainly runs in that Bragan family. Her father, John, now the head pro at the Kansas City Racket Club, and her sister, Cindy, won the state title in her senior year.
It's important to me because it is for the school, and it's a high honor to win state, because not very many people do it.
Growing up around tennis is sometimes a negative factor. In our case, tennis being a family sport because we're in the business,
We don't push it that much, and because we're exposed to it every day of our lives, so we try to make it enjoyable, and without desire, you don't win the big matches.
I'll tell you what, that little gal really deserved it. She had 4 matches all yesterday. 2 of them were 3-setters. She started at 8 o'clock in the morning, got through at 7:30 last night, and they gave them a 1/2-hour break in between.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
That's what you get for carrying the big state
right, and having
title.
desire and going for it.
Gotta be tough.
Just ahead, a look ahead to a smokeless 21st century.
Another 30 seconds of common sense. Most other car dealers are having a lot of trouble with the $10,000 price barrier.
They just can't seem to avoid it. But your Hyundai dealer can. He's got 8 durable Excel models priced under $8,000 and starting at just $54.99. 8 sensible ways to avoid putting a big hole in your budget.
Test drive the durable XL at your Greater Kansas City Hyundai dealer. We sell cars that make sense.
Michael Dukakis has opposed virtually every defense system we developed. He opposed new aircraft carriers. He opposed anti-satellite weapons. He opposed 4 missile systems, including the Pershing II missile deployment. Dukakis opposed the stealth bomber and a ground emergency warning system against nuclear attack. He even criticized our rescue mission to Grenada and our strike on Libya. And now he wants to be our commander-in-chief. America can't afford that risk.
From Kansas City's Weather Center, here's my forecast for the Kansas City area.
Got a different kind of face, a different kind of smile, a different kind of grace. I need my own space. Got a different kind of style.
At Pearl, we find out what makes you different. That's what makes us different. You not only get your glasses fast, you get just what you're looking for.
Got a different kind of style. That's right.
Discover what millions of women throughout the world have found in Neosome Système Anti-Age from Lancôme, Paris. Neosome, the daytime skincare system that makes your skin look and feel softer and smoother. Microspheres that target the skin surface layers.
With Neosome, you will see and feel a younger-looking skin. Neosome Système Anti-Age, Lancôme, Paris.
From Lancôme, Les Promesses de Lancôme, your gift with any 1250 Lancôme purchase.
Available at Dillard's.
Tonight at 10, we'll be with Holden, Missouri residents as they learn the latest about PCB problems at an abandoned chemical warehouse. Finally tonight, a coalition of groups hopes to make the 21st century a smokeless century. Today, area school representatives, children, and representatives from the American Cancer Society, American Heart Association, and American Lung Association kicked off their smoke-free Class of 2000 project. It included planting a tree to symbolize the coalition's commitment to the growth and health of our children. The Surgeon General has called for a smoke-free America by the year 2000. Kind of ironic, Phil Witt from Channel 4 and Larry Moore from Channel 9 and I were all there. And we all have first graders, which means they are all members of the Class of 2000, which they hope to make that first smokeless class.
Is that right?
All right.
We'll hope they make it.
Yeah, me too.
That's our news for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tonight at 10.
You've been watching KCTV 5, Kansas City's award-winning news team.